Hi, and welcome back to the Stock Trader Pit. My name's Scott, if you haven't watched my other videos. And this video is going to be similar to the one I just created running on the SPY for the trading day was 326 and 327. I'm going to play this through for the last 2 days. And people wanted to see my indicator and how it performed on a 1 minute chart showing the same that we did with the 5 minute chart. The one thing that I want to share with you before we begin is let me just do a quick layout of what you're going to see on my screen, what the indicator shows, and how I'm interpreting what it's showing me and how I'm trading with it. So the first thing I want to share with you is this indicator that I created has the ability to have presets, the 1 minute, the 5 minute, 10 minute, depending on how frequently you want to have the signals appear and change the algorithms. So the algorithms do change and will appear differently depending on your threshold of wins and loss or win-loss ratio, how far away from the RSI you want to be to, all these different settings that are in here that are predefined, but depending on how aggressive you want to be with your trades, you can adjust those. For this exercise and this replay, I'm doing the 1 minute replay with a 1 minute um, algorithm applied to it. The indicators, as you'll see, are going to look different than the 5 minute chart. And the reason being is on the 1 minute chart, we're moving a lot quicker. I really don't care to see as much on the indicator. I just want to see, whether it's a call, whether it's a put, whether it's a roll, take profit, um, warnings to get out. I really don't care about a lot about the percentages except for the forward-looking predictions. And let me explain what I mean by that. So here on my chart, you'll see this table and you'll see this table. This table to the right is the outlook information. And this is forward thinking. This gray shaded area is saying waiting for an A plus trade right now. This happens to be on 3/26, that Thursday morning. And I typically don't start trading until about 9:45 and wait for the open range breakout. Again, that's a setting in my system. If we were to come down here, um, my open range breakout, I wait 15 minutes and then give me a one candle confirmation. You can adjust this however you want. Anyway, this is showing me right now I wouldn't enter a trade. And then this is what's currently happening in the trade based on the current candles. So the other things I want to cover in here is my indicator includes a bull and a bear fair value gap. You can see this green shaded area here, and you can see the red shaded area here. These happen to be fair value gaps that were already established by previous candles. And the lines that you're looking at, the yellow happens to be, in this scenario, the 9 EMA, and the gray or white one is the 21 EMA. So that's what those lines are. And again, if you weren't sure, you can come back into here and look at which EMA you're actually looking at. I didn't call them the 9 EMA and I didn't call them the 21 EMAs because theoretically, if you change the time scale, those EMAs are going to change based on what what time scale you're at because I use different EMAs. I found them to be beneficial at uh, different time scales. The other thing I do is I only use VWAP on the 1 and 5 minute, and I'll use anchor VWAP on the other ones. And these values will change automatically for you if you have the sync optimization to the chart time frame. I found it to be helpful if I'm trading and I want to look at the 5 minute, 15 minute, and go back to the 1 minute. I don't have to keep changing my values. I just change the time, and all those values will change, and the algos will change as well. So What I want to do is I want to replay this. I might speed it up in sections and might pause in other sections. Also, along this bottom, I want to give a shout out to this Zierman. Um, I put his range oscillator on here. I like to see it as a crutch. And I also have a volume indicator here, again, as a crutch. But theoretically, that stuff is built into, I actually built my own range oscillator. And if we were to come down and look at the range oscillator, there's values in here for machine learning and range oscillator um, settings. So in here, I have my own, but I like to visually see it, so that's why that's down here. And again, I like what this indicator shows, so I add it to the bottom, so I like to see the colors. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to play this and sit back and let's see what happens. So again, this was 326, 327, Thursday and Friday of last week. So as I play this out, um, immediately what comes in is even though the candles look like they're going up, we got some put markers. Um, and then it was a quickly take profit because it reversed so quickly off the demand area. And so this is somebody trading on the 1 minute. If you watched my 5 minute, you probably did a lot better on this trade than on the 1 minute. It was a lot of um, choppiness trading in a range. But here we have a call. We rode that call all the way up and the supply hit the supply, got a take profit marker. That move would have been approximately 651 to 654 almost. A nice option trade there. Um, we weren't sure what was going to happen as it bounced off that support, so it didn't play this little mark here. But then we got back into the trade again if you wanted to on this marker, but then we hit supply and it came back down. I personally find it very difficult sometimes to trade on the 1 minute because there is such big movement. And a lot of times I may even ignore some of these take profits depending where my EMA lines are and where it is relative to um, the supply demand zones, where it is relative to fair value gaps that are being presented here in these shaded areas, or where it is relative to the forecast um, prediction box. So you can see here, we're moving along, um, you know, calls, puts. Oh, I didn't explain this. So let me share this with you. These LSs, if you don't know what a liquidity sweep is, uh, these are institutions trying to drive the price and create um, liquidity by stopping out people who have um, stop losses on their trades. And so they hit it here trying to drive the price, and then the buyers stepped in and pushed it back up, and the next candle was green. And they hit it again, and this one actually took effect because they hit it, and then it did drop off the supply, and it started moving downward. So there's a little battle going on here, and that's what that's showing you. You can see though that the bears just keep trying to drive this price down, and over here we had a little battle with bulls trying to push it back up. So these big movements, maybe you can play them if you're quick on the draw, but it definitely shows what's going on. And this is a great setup right here. If you notice here, we had a liquidity sweep. It came down. That next candle right here also demonstrated that the liquidity sweep held, and look what happened. It just dropped all the way down to the demand. So typically when I see a liquidity sweep, I'm looking to see what the next candle shows and did it take effect and hold or not. And that's a nice time to sometimes get into a trade and ride it all the way down. As you can see here, we started out way up at the start of the morning around 6:55 maybe the market, and it was not hard to see that the day was going down. But if you were day trading on a or zero DTE with the 1 minute, there's a lot of symbols. There's a lot of trading going on. Watch my 5 minute. You'll see that it was a little easier to trade than being in and out of trades on these. But If you want to break it down and flip back and forth from the 5 minute to the 1 minute, you could easily do that and start to read what's going on. So in these situations, these take profits are showing up because the way I designed this is to preserve capital and make sure that this doesn't take off, going like this. You wouldn't want that to happen. So as it jumps over the EMA lines, they get tighter and starts to squeeze. If they don't cross each other, then I'm still, in this case, bearish. But if the EMA start to cross, that's when I start getting a little nervous. But this was the 1 minute chart. I'm just playing it out, showing you what would happen, what my symbols are showing. And again, you have some pretty nice trades if you follow the exact symbols. But there again, I think the symbols are there to warn you, and you need a little bit of your own uh, experience to understand what's going on here in the chart. One thing that I didn't point out in the beginning is many of you might draw support and resistance um, lines in the beginning or levels, and my system automatically does that for you. So when the day started, this actually happened to be support 1, support 2, support 3, and there's a support 4 down here. Those are the levels. Machine learning already built those out for you, so they were there. What's interesting here is as the price dropped, you'll notice that these supports became resistance now. And so now if I were to come way up here, we have resistance up here. We didn't even get there. We're just dropping. The whole day has been down, and we're blowing through all of our support and resistance lines. So um, these are constant from the morning. Every morning these are developed, and then you can see what's going on with that um, uh, price action over those different areas. And here we got into a put. There was a take profit. There's a little bit of change of character, and the price started to go up, but then it reversed all the way down. Again, would I have been out of it? I would have looked at my little chart over here. Trends bearish. We're below EMAs. We're below VWAP. There's no fresh liquidity sweeps. It's all looking good to stay in that trade, right? Again, this gets a little tight where the EMAs are about to cross. Would I consider getting out? Not yet. I would have ridden a little harder and stayed with it, even though they potentially went up about 50 cents or so. But yeah, I would have waited till I got back down into the demand zone and see if there was a push upward before getting out. Not to mention, uh, these 2 days were dicey. You didn't know if there was going to be a tweet that would all of a sudden propel this price up, or oil was going to go up and make this price go down. So again, it was really difficult if you were trying to get in and out of trades really quickly on this day. Maybe some of you are pretty successful at it. I know the group that I trade with, there's a lot of people that were making trades and on their contracts making anywhere from 5% to maybe 20%, where on my 5 minute chart, I actually had like a 3 to 4x on my 5 minute chart trade on the same SPY these same 2 days. So you can see here is what's happening as we keep going. We're still dropping. We're getting down now to the next support area. There's been some push in either direction from the bulls or bears, but ultimately, if we look back, it's pretty much been down all day. Just a lot of choppiness, within those supply demand zones as they keep getting developed. So let me just shift over here and see how the day finishes out. We're getting close um, to the end of the day. Let me just speed this up a little bit here, just so we can get along and see what the next day looks like. Again, I'm speeding it up so the algos are trying to keep up with me. On a normal trading day, it's not moving this fast, so you're going to see where supply and demand build. Um, you can also see on these supply and demand zones, you'll see the volume of the orders in those areas. These boxes will change in size, as well as the prediction box will change. And I don't know if I showed you in the beginning, but when it did turn read the prediction box and said we were going down, it had predicted almost a $8 drop from the day. And so I had a feeling when I woke up that based on previous days and what the algos were saying, it probably was going to continue to drop, barring any news that would have changed um, the market. So this, where are we here? We're almost to the end of the day. Let me just speed this up again and move along. But this is what the 1 minute chart would look like. And we're going to get down here to the end. Whoops. Let me shift that back up. So here's they're catching up. The supply and demand changed, and we're still waiting for um, to close out for our zero DTE. Some of you might not run it this far to the close of the day. Others may decide to wait and get out at 2 o'clock, or um, but if you went to the end of the day, you probably did pretty good because it just kept dropping, the price, and into um, the Friday as well. So we're gonna let me speed this up. Sometimes when I speed it up, there gets to be calculation errors because it's trying to do too much. There's a lot going on in my algos, but this is what the 1 minute chart does, and you can see the symbols that it builds out. One of the things that you have to do when you're using my algo is you have to make sure that you're set up for extended hours, because otherwise it'll try to read back too many candles, and that can cause a problem. So now we're into the end of the day. My TradingView indicator chart settings are um, this blue shaded area, which is after hours going into the evening. We didn't have a great day unless you were on the side of the bears, but uh, if you were bullish and thought the market was going to go up, you probably didn't have a good day. But anyway, through the evening, this is happening. I'm going to speed this along because they wanted to see what the indicator was doing up until um, that Friday. So this is that request of some of the people that got back to me, saw some of my other videos on this indicator, as well as the specific one showing the SPY. So here's, I don't put any labels on after hour trading. So you'll see there's a gap where the labels stop, and there won't be any new information until we move forward. Um, However, one of the things that I've developed in my indicator is that depending on your, here we go, now we're into midnight and now we're starting to move forward. Um, is let's say you were curious about where this might go, and you don't want to wait till here. If I change this to the day mode, again, just by changing the time scale, it will change the algorithms. And you can see here, you get so the text isn't overwrapping this, the supply and demand, but you can see here, there's a fair value gap zone that was developed back here between that candle and down into this candle between here. See that fair value gap, and it drew that for you automatically. But now you're curious how the day is going to play out, and we're dancing around. Where's our trading right now? Around. There's my. Oh, I'm in a day. So on the day I was looking at, so our current is around 653. Oh no, I'm sorry. Our current is 645, and my indicator saying we're going to go and be bearish again. 72% confident that Friday is going to be bearish, and the target at this point is going down to 631. I'll be curious to see where that ends up. So let's go back to the 1 minute chart. 631. Let's keep that in mind. Uh, some of you already know how this played out. So Friday wasn't much better. So let's keep going. But 631, my prediction model was saying where we might end up. So I'm going to get to the trading day and then I'll slow this down. So Friday, the market opens, whoop, and we are getting close here. We're at 6. And let me go a little faster till we get to the market open. Um, Trying to keep up with these candles and showing you what's going on. And as we get close here, all right, I'm going to start slowing this down here. And we'll get into the morning when the market's opening. VWAP is up here. Supply and demand is going to regenerate here in 1 second, just because I sped it up and got us too far ahead. And here we I don't know why my after hours shading is still there. That's interesting. We're technically into a trading day, but that's not my indicator that's doing that. That's the chart itself. Haven't seen that before, but I'm gonna let this keep going. You can see here my 9 EMA jumped over my 21. Looks like it's gonna be a good day. And oh, here, yeah, 9:30 the market opened. Sorry, that's why it was in there. So the market opened and immediately hit supply. 9 EMA crossed over the 21 EMA. Liquidity sweep tried to shove it up. Support and resistance, we already blew through the new support line and we're dancing on the second support level. Um, it's kind of in a chop zone in the morning. I think I remembered what happened here is that we just bounced between supply and demand for a little bit until it decided to um, take a turn for the worse and go south. So here, again, what the markers look like. And people asked, what am I seeing? How is this helping me make my decisions? We're down into 639. Let's see where we end up. Let me move this over a little bit. Get our put symbol to put an order in. It's going to go down. And let's see, we got a fair value gap zone we're bumping into. Supplies right there. Hit the supply and came down. When you see multiple put symbols, you can always add to your position. If you see take profits, means maybe you might want to thin up your position or get totally out, depending on what's happening else in the chart is how I use those take profits. But the take profits usually are an indication that the price is moving over the EMAs. It's strong. There's oscillator shifts going on. There's a lot of reasons why those take profits appear, but they're there to kind of help preserve capital, right? It's hard in trading zero DTEs, but it's there, right, to give you an alert. And we're at 639. We're in this zone going back and forth. A couple fair value gaps appeared in the middle. And I think we keep looking, it's still bearish trend. We're below EMAs, we're below VWAP. We're down to our third support line. Oh, this is interesting. You guys probably haven't seen this much. I created a squeeze algorithm. And so it told us right there was a squeeze going on. And it was developed because of the compression and pricing and what else was going on. And it alerts you that there's potential big movement coming up. That movement went almost $1. So that warns you when there's something potentially building. And my chart and prediction boxes will show you that and draw it in yellow, let you really know, pay attention here. So we're at 640, and this that we're looking at is the Friday. We're at around noon, and I think if I remember right, this is where it just starts really breaking down. From noon on, we're going to get down into the where the prediction box thought it was going to be in the morning. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I remember that candle. That scared a lot of people out um, that were in their puts. Also flushed them out, and then this is I think where I remember it starts going back down. Let's see what happens. So that was a pretty good move from that call symbol to here. That was potentially call it 639.50 to about 642. So that would have been a nice play, seeing that that bounced off the demand. The EMAs crossed. We had a big candle there, a lot of buyers, a lot of green candles, and that was a would have been a good in and out for somebody. Let's see what else happens here. If you have questions or you want me to run my filter, my indicator on a certain symbol, feel free to put a comment, send me an email, whatever. I'll run it and I can send it off to you. Or you can always get this indicator for 7 days for free. Your card won't be charged. You can download it, try it out. Again, you can change this from whether you're trading zero DTE, stuff like the Qs or the VIX, or if you want to just buy stock, right? You could put it on the day chart and it will help you figure out a good time to get in and out of the trade. Um, Again, while this is still chugging away and I'm going to quickly just show you. If we went to the 1 hour chart in here, the symbols, if you watch my 5 minute video, the symbols are different. Um, they're a little more informational, and you'll see it tells you an A plus put. Had you been on trading on the hour and you weren't doing a zero DTE, how nice would this have been to be warned 2 days prior um, on that Thursday that here's an A plus setup for a put. You could have rode this price all the way down. So that was, I said at 649.64, get into a trade, and we're down to 632 at the close, right? So just imagine how that would have played out for you in an option if you didn't do a zero DTE but took it till a Friday expiration. That's a big move. And, there's a one chance in here, it looked a little scary, that chop fest that was going on here in the 1 minute chart, but you could have just rode that thing right down and followed the indicator. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. They asked to see the 1 minute chart and how it performed. And, this is obviously the 1 hour chart, but you can see here it predicted way back over here, and we're going all the way down here. And so give me a shout, like this, follow it, join my channel. I'll be putting a lot more videos out. I'm trying to help as many traders take the emotion out and trade smarter. So take care and talk soon.